Elite Facts presents. These celebrities all got away with major crimes. 20. Snoop Dogg was arrested and put on trial in connection with the death of Philip Walter Marion, a member of a rival gang, after his bodyguard McKinley Lee shot and killed him back in 1993. Even though the rapper had been driving the vehicle from which the shooting commenced, Snoop and his bodyguard were acquitted of murder charges on the grounds of self-defense thanks to their dream team of lawyers. One of the defense lawyers was super attorney David Kenner. As long as you're a famous rapper, you can obviously get out of murder. Congratulations, Snoopy. 19. Bieber has certainly caused a great deal of trouble in his short career. This guy got Bieber out of some hefty charges, including vandalism and assault. His lawyer, Roy Black, has been there and done that when it comes to representing celebrities. He's worked with Joe Francis, Peter Max, and William Kennedy Smith. What will he do next? 18. Mark Wahlberg was arrested for beating up a blind man and nearly killing him. He recently showed extreme cockiness when he sought out a pardon. Of course, the prosecution lawyer, Judith Beals, insisted he didn't deserve it, and he was able to escape the charge without doing any jail time. Beating a blind man is certainly reprehensible. 17. Model and actress Paris Hilton has had her fair share of run-ins with the law. One of her most memorable is the time she backed her Range Rover into a Honda Civic and drove away without leaving a note. In California, it's a crime to damage a parked car and then drive off without leaving a note. A misdemeanor crime that is punishable by a maximum of 6 months in jail and a $1,000 fine. Paris didn't have to do any jail time or pay a fine over this. She did the same thing a few years later with her Bentley. I guess if you have enough money, you can get out of anything. 16. Singer R. Kelly has been in and out of trouble, but mostly out of it. With the assistance of his criminal defense attorneys Sam Adam Jr., and Edward Gleason, Kelly was able to beat child pornography charges and supposedly peeing on the victims. However, this isn't the only time Kelly has been in trouble. 15. Boxing promoter Don King killed 2 men in separate incidents. King killed the first man in self-defense when the man was trying to break into his gambling operation. King was charged with second-degree murder for the second incident, in which he stomped to death an employee who owed him $600. Boy oh boy, Don King has been in a ton of legal trouble and has faced many court trials. Charles E. Lomax, who represented King, should certainly be credited for having superb skills. Despite being convicted of second-degree murder in 1966, King only ended up serving 4 years in prison and is still out and about robbing professional boxers today. 14. Robert Downey Jr. was let off very lightly on more than one occasion for crimes that would see most non-celebs spending some serious time in the slammer. After spending almost a year in a substance abuse treatment facility and state prison, Downey was released early due to the fact that he had served time based on his original 1996 arrests. On a later occasion in 2000, Downey was apprehended after he was discovered in possession of and under the influence of controlled substances following an anonymous tip-off. He was put on parole. In 2001, he was discovered wandering around Culver City barefoot and under the influence. Tests showed that he had cocaine in his system, but he was released and absolutely no charges were filed. Sure, RDJ got in trouble on numerous occasions, but there were also instances where his fame no doubt aided him in getting off easy. 13. Britney Spears was caught driving with her 4-month-old son sitting on her lap without a child restraint. California law requires drivers to secure children sitting in the front seat who are under a year old or under 20 pounds. A violation is punishable by a fine of $100. She didn't have to pay a nickel. Also, in 2007, Britney Spears was charged with a hit-and-run accident after hitting a parked vehicle and driving without a valid license. No fine or punishment there. I guess the court and judge were huge Britney fans. 12. Some celebrities know how to handle their own troubles. 50 Cent certainly did when he turned snitch and transformed a 9-year sentence into a 6-month stay for selling drugs. Wow, what a guy. Selling crack isn't for everyone. 11. NFL players aren't the sharpest cats in the kitchen, that's for sure. Lawrence definitely ranks down there among the lowest, especially after his rape allegations. Of course, his lawyer, Arthur Adela, got him out of it. Now his son has been arrested for a similar crime. Runs in the family, doesn't it? 10. On July 28, 2006, Gibson was arrested for driving under the influence while speeding in his vehicle with an open container of alcohol. He then started yelling racial slurs at the officer. This was his second incident involving drinking and driving. Punishment? A fine and a slap on the wrist. 9. On May 20th, 1998, Charlie Sheen overdosed while using cocaine and was hospitalized. Sheen, already on probation in California for a previous drug offense, had his probation extended for an extra year and entered a rehab clinic. On December 25, 2009, he was arrested for assaulting his wife, Brooke Mueller, in Aspen, Colorado. Sheen was charged with felony menacing, as well as third-degree assault and criminal mischief. Sheen, represented by lawyer Yale Gallanter, pleaded guilty to misdemeanor assault as part of a plea bargain that included dismissal of the other charges against him. He was sentenced to 30 days in a drug rehab center, 30 days of probation, and 36 hours of anger management. 8. Driving home on December 30th, 2006, Norwood was involved in a fatal automobile accident on the LA freeway. The accident claimed the life of 38-year-old Awatef Abutiaj, the driver of the Toyota that was struck by Norwood's Range Rover. Abutiaj died from her injuries at the LA Holy Cross Hospital the following day. Norwood was neither arrested nor charged with vehicular manslaughter due to insufficient evidence. Luckily for Brandy, she was able to afford an excellent lawyer in Blair Burke. 7. What most people don't know about Michael is that he was an illegal immigrant. Fox was born in Canada. He landed an acting job in America for the television show Letters from Frank. The only thing that was wrong was that he didn't have his visa yet. Michael J. Fox revealed that he suffered some nervousness at the border early on in his career. The actual visa had not yet come through, he mentioned in his 2010 autobiography. Immigration laws have always been a serious matter in America, but if you're a television star, they can make some exceptions. 6. Mick Jagger was arrested for assault and obstructing justice in 1972. He was with Keith Richards and a few other friends when he was charged with assault and obstruction of justice after he allegedly attacked a photographer. After being arrested, however, the charges were dropped and everyone was released. Rock on. 5. In 2003, Kobe Bryant was charged with sexual assault. However, the charges were dropped after the woman who had accused him refused to testify. Later, a civil lawsuit was filed against him by the woman, which was settled out of court. Although he apologized to his accuser, he admitted no guilt on his part. 4. On August 5, 1987, Broderick was in a car accident in Enniskillen, Northern Ireland, while vacationing with Jennifer Grey, whom he had begun dating in semi-secrecy during the filming of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. The accident, which was the event through which their relationship became public, occurred when the rented BMW he was driving crossed into the wrong lane and collided head-on with a Volvo driven by Anna Gallagher and accompanied by her mother, Margaret Doherty, who were both killed instantly in the accident. Broderick was charged with causing death by dangerous driving and faced up to 5 years in prison, but was later convicted on the lesser charge of careless driving and fined $175, which the victim's family called a travesty of justice. With some strong criminal defense attorneys, Broderick ended up getting a day off and a bill for less than $200. Wow pretty much sums this one up. 3. Sid Vicious was the bassist for the punk rock group known as the Sex Pistols. Nancy Spungen, Sid's girlfriend, was found dead in the bathroom of a hotel room where the couple had been staying. She was stabbed once in the stomach and bled to death. The weapon belonged to Sid, who admitted that the two had had a falling out the night before. He didn't remember the details as he was heavily drugged up at the time. He gave the police conflicting statements, claiming that he did stab her but didn't mean to kill her, before later stating that she fell on the night. He then later claimed to have no memory of the incident whatsoever and attempted to maintain his innocence. All the evidence pointed to Sid, but he never ended up serving any time for his alleged crime. He died from a heroin overdose before his trial could take place. Many suspect that his death was a suicide. 2. Four-time Paralympics gold medal runner and double amputee Oscar Pistorius was charged with fatally shooting his girlfriend, Reeva Steenkamp, in his Pretoria home. He said he had mistaken her for an intruder, but he was arrested and charged with murder. At his trial the following year, Pistorius was found guilty of culpable homicide. He received a 5-year prison sentence for culpable homicide and a concurrent 3-year suspended prison sentence for a separate reckless endangerment conviction. In November, prosecutors asked the sentencing judge for permission to appeal the verdict. Permission was granted in December, and the case will next be presented to a 5-person panel at the Supreme Court of Appeal. 1. In 1995, former NFL superstar O.J. Simpson was acquitted of the 1994 murder of his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and Ronald Goldman after a lengthy and internationally publicized criminal trial, the People v. Simpson. In 1997, a civil court awarded a judgment against Simpson for their wrongful deaths. As of 2007, he had paid little of the $33.5 million judgment. In September of 2007, Simpson was arrested in Las Vegas and charged with numerous felonies, including armed robbery and kidnapping. Luckily, this time he was found guilty and sentenced to 33 years imprisonment. Karma. Thanks for watching another amazing video, folks. Subscribe for more from Elite Facts.